Hello, English learners, and welcome back to Side by Side English. And today I want to start with something a little scary.
We just started. What is already scary?
Imagine one full day without your phone.
My thumb just cried a little inside.
Yes, 24 hours, no messages, no scrolling, no checking the time every 2 minutes, no just one quick look, nothing.
When you say it like that, it sounds like a punishment.
Or an experiment. Because here is the real question. What would actually happen? Would your day be boring? Would it be peaceful? Would you feel lost? Or maybe, surprisingly, more alive?
Or would you suddenly start talking to strangers in the elevator because you have absolutely nothing else to look at?
Or would you finally look at the sky instead of the screen? Or eat lunch at 4 in the afternoon because you forgot what time it was?
These are all very real possibilities.
And in today's episode, we want to walk through that kind of day together. A no-phone day from morning to evening. All the strange moments, all the quiet moments, all the, oh no, I usually use my phone for this moments.
And we want you to imagine this day with us, not as a strict rule or a big serious challenge, just as a soft, honest picture in your mind.
We are not here to tell you phones are bad. Phones help us enormously. We love our phones too.
We genuinely do. We just want to explore what happens when we put them down for one day.
And because this is side-by-side English, we're doing all of this through clear, natural B1 level English. So if you are at an intermediate level, this episode is a perfect fit.
And if you are A2, please stay with us. If some parts feel a little fast, just follow the feeling and the story. You can always listen again and your brain will catch more the second time. It always does.
And at the end, we have a vocabulary section where we slow down and walk through the key words from today carefully. So stay with us all the way through.
And before we start, please like this episode, subscribe to the channel, and share it with one friend who is always on their phone. They will recognize themselves immediately.
And our comment challenge today is simple and honest. Would you ever try a no phone day? Just yes or no is completely fine. Or write one sentence about how you think it would feel. If your honest answer is absolutely not, I love my phone too much, you can write that too. We completely understand.
All right, let us imagine this together. You go to sleep one night and you make a decision. Tomorrow I will live one day without my phone. You plug it in across the room, you put it far from your bed, you close your eyes.
And then the next morning comes. No phone in your hand, no screen in your face. Just you, your thoughts, and your day waiting for you.
What happens next?
Let us jump in with the morning, because for me, that is where the trouble starts immediately.
Tell me, what is your normal morning with your phone like?
Usually, my eyes open and my hand moves by itself. Before I have said good morning to myself, before I have had any thoughts of my own, my hand is already reaching for my phone and checking things.
Yes, I used to be a little obsessed with my notifications in the morning.
Obsessed means your brain cannot stop thinking about something. It's always present, always pulling at your attention.
Exactly. My first thought in the morning was not, how do I feel today? It was not, what do I want to do? It was, who wrote to me? What happened while I was sleeping? What did I miss?
And maybe you know this too. Before water, before breakfast, before anything at all, it's phone time.
On a no-phone day, that moment is genuinely funny and a little painful at the same time.
What happened when you tried it?
My eyes opened, my hand moved toward the bedside table, and then nothing. No phone, just empty air.
Your hand grabbed the ghost of your phone.
Yes, my brain said, excuse me, where's our screen? We need the screen. This is not acceptable.
And you couldn't check the time.
Right, I had to actually stand up and look at the real clock on the wall, a physical clock with hands on it.
Old school, a real clock in your own home that you probably walk past every day without ever actually reading.
I felt like I was living in 1999, and maybe you have a clock somewhere in your home that you never actually use because your phone does everything. On a no-phone day, that clock suddenly becomes your most important possession.
So after you survived the first few minutes, what did your morning actually look like?
Strange. Normally, I sit on the edge of the bed and scroll for 10 or 15 minutes. Videos, messages, news, whatever appears. On this day, my hands were free, but my brain was deeply unhappy about it.
What did your brain say?
It kept saying, come on, just one check, just one small look. It will take 10 seconds. You will feel so much better.
The classic just one, which is always a lie.
Always. And without the phone, the quiet felt intense.
Intense means very strong and heavy, not soft or light, something that fills the space completely.
Yes, the silence was loud in a way I didn't expect. I could hear the birds outside. I could hear cars in the distance. I could hear my own breathing. It was almost too much for my brain, which was used to constant input.
I had something similar. I went to the kitchen to make coffee and I had no phone in my hand. Normally, I scroll while the kettle is boiling. I know more about what other people had for breakfast than what I'm about to have myself.
On this day, you just watched the water boil.
And I noticed I felt a bit vulnerable.
Vulnerable means you feel open and easy to hurt. Your feelings are close to the surface. There is nowhere to hide from them.
Yes, without the phone, my actual thoughts and worries and tiredness were just there. I could feel them clearly. There was no small screen to cover them or distract me from them.
Maybe you feel something similar right now as you listen. When the phone is not there, your mind suddenly has space. And that space can feel both a little scary and very honest at the same time.
And then the next challenge arrives, going outside.
Oh, leaving the house with no phone felt like leaving the house without shoes. Something was wrong. Something important was missing. My body knew it, even if my brain was trying to be brave about it.
Yes, you kept touching your empty pocket.
Every few minutes, my hand just went there automatically, and my brain would say, "Are you sure? Are you really going outside like this? Is this legal?"
Maybe you do this too when you leave your home. Keys, wallet, phone, that little check. On a no-phone day, that check suddenly feels very strange because one of the three is deliberately missing.
And the elevator. The elevator was the hardest part.
Why the elevator?
Because normally I look at my phone in the elevator so I don't have to stand there feeling awkward with other people. The phone is my escape from that small, uncomfortable space.
The elevator escape screen.
On this day, there was no escape. I just stood there with my face and my thoughts and the numbers slowly changing. I looked at the walls, I looked at my own shoes. I thought several complete thoughts, which felt unusual.
Did you talk to anyone?
Not exactly, but I did smile at a neighbor, and they smiled back. It was small, but it felt genuinely real in a way that nothing on my screen ever quite does.
I had a similar moment at the bus stop. Normally, I'm completely absorbed in my feed there. On my no-phone day, I just watched the world. A child playing with a stone on the pavement, an older man reading an actual newspaper, the kind you fold. And I thought, there's a whole world here, right outside this little rectangle I carry everywhere. And for once, I was actually inside it, rather than watching something else through it.
And now let's talk about work or study time, because this part surprised me the most.
How was it different from a normal day?
Normally, I work for about 5 minutes, and then my brain says, just check your phone quickly. It will only take a second.
The famous just a second, which everyone who has a phone knows is not actually a second.
That second is a professional liar. It turns into 10 minutes, and then my focus is completely gone, and I have to start building it back from the beginning.
And on the no phone day, that interruption was simply not possible.
At first, my brain kept asking for it. It was almost uncomfortable. But after a while, something shifted. My mind started to calm down. I could sit with one thing for longer. I could actually finish a thought before something else arrived to replace it.
Yes, without that constant small pull toward the phone, your attention starts to come back to you. It returns to the thing in front of you rather than flying off in 20 directions.
And when I noticed this, I had to be honest with myself about something uncomfortable. My phone habit was really getting in my own way.
Get in your own way means you are the thing blocking your own progress, not other people, not circumstances. Your own habit is the obstacle.
Yes, I had been blaming other things for my lack of focus. I told myself I was tired or stressed or the work was difficult,
but actually, my own scrolling was blocking me more than any of those things. And that realization is actually good news.
Because if your own habit is getting in your way, you are also the person who can change it. You're not stuck waiting for something external to improve.
Exactly. You are not stuck forever. And now, let us talk about coming home, because this is where many families feel the phone problem most directly.
Yes, in many homes, someone arrives back from work or school, and the first thing they reach for is not the door handle, not the people waiting inside, not the food, it is the phone.
You see it everywhere. One living room, 4 people, 4 phones, 4 completely different worlds happening in the same physical space.
And maybe you see this in your own home, or maybe you are that person on the sofa. And if yes, please do not feel bad. This is something almost everyone does, but it is still worth noticing.
When I came home on my no phone day, my hand went to my pocket automatically. Nothing there. So I sat down and I actually looked at the people in my home.
And what happened?
Simple things. My cousin was drawing something, my aunt was cooking. We started to talk. How was your day? What did you learn? Show me what you made. Real questions, real answers, a real back and forth that was not happening through a screen.
That sounds genuinely nice.
And it made me notice a contradiction that had been there the whole time without my seeing it.
Contradiction means two things that do not match. They seem to go together, but they actually work against each other.
Yes, my phone connects me to people who are far away, but it also takes me away from the people who are right in front of me. I was physically present with my family while being mentally somewhere else entirely.
That sentence is a little painful because it is so accurate.
And on the no phone day, that changed. Suddenly, eyes met eyes instead of everyone looking at their own screen, and something warmer happened in the room.
And your evening brought something unexpected, too.
Yes, a friend asked me that evening, "So, how's your day going without your phone?"
And what did you say?
My first instinct was to play it safe, to say, "Yeah, it's fine, just a bit different, not a big deal."
Play it safe means you choose the easy, comfortable answer rather than the honest one. You stay on the surface rather than going deeper.
But this time, I stopped for a second and I said something more real. I said, "Honestly, it's hard. I feel restless. I keep reaching for something that's not there. But I also feel more present than I have in a long time. More here."
That's already a big change, because when you stop playing it safe with your answers, real connection becomes possible.
And I felt that later that evening. I was sitting at the table with someone from my family, no phones, just tea, and I poured my heart out.
Pour your heart out means you share all your real feelings. You don't hide, you don't manage the impression you're making. You just say what is actually true.
I told them I felt pressure to always be available online, to answer messages quickly, to be entertaining in group chats, to post things that made my life look a certain way, to always look like I had everything together.
And how did they react?
They said, "I feel like that too." We talked for a long time. We laughed, we almost cried. It was simple, but it was deep in a way that 100 messages on a screen could never quite be.
Sometimes one honest conversation with no phones is more powerful than everything that happened on your screen all week.
Yes, and after this day, I started to see my relationship with my phone differently.
How did your view change?
I saw how hard I was holding on to it. Hold on to something means you refuse to let it go, even when part of you can see it might not be entirely good for you. Like holding a safety blanket. You know you are too old for it, but it still feels necessary.
And on the no phone day, that blanket was gone.
At first, I felt cold without it, exposed. But then something else appeared. I started to wake up to how loud my phone had become in my life.
Wake up to something means you finally see a truth that was always there, something that existed before you noticed it. Suddenly, you are aware of it clearly.
Yes, I woke up to the fact that my mind was always half inside the screen, even when I was with people I loved. even when I was outside in the actual world. Part of me was always in phone world, checking, comparing, performing.
That is a significant realization.
And on a no-phone day, you might have your own version of that realization. Maybe you wake up to how often you reach for your phone without any real reason, or how your family feels different when everyone is genuinely, physically, mentally present in the same room.
And none of this means you must delete your apps and throw your phone into a river. We are not here to make rules.
No rules, just awareness, just the possibility of choice. Maybe for you, the first step is no phone at breakfast, or no phone in the bedroom after a certain time, or one evening a week with airplane mode on.
Small, honest changes. And maybe at some point you try your own mini no-phone day, even just a no-phone morning, and you notice what is hard, and you notice what is surprisingly nice.
Because the best moments of your day are probably not happening inside the screen. They're happening right in front of you. You just need a little space to see them.
All right, let us now slow everything down and walk through the vocabulary from today. These are words and phrases for talking about your phone habits, your feelings, your relationships, and the honest moments of everyday life.
Let's go through them one by one. First, a word about a brain that cannot stop. Obsessed.
When you are obsessed with something, your brain cannot stop thinking about it. It's always present in your thoughts, even when you try to focus on something else. For example, in the morning, I was completely obsessed with checking my notifications before I had done anything else, or thought a single thought of my own. Or, my little brother is obsessed with one particular game and will talk about it at any moment given the opportunity. Repeat. Obsessed.
Obsessed. Next, a word about making something sound bigger than it is. Exaggerate.
When you exaggerate, you make something sound larger, more dramatic, or more extreme than it really is, usually to help someone understand the feeling behind it. For example, sometimes I say I checked my phone 1,000 times before breakfast. I exaggerate, but the feeling is real. Or, she exaggerated the story a little to make it funnier, and everyone laughed. Repeat. Exaggerate.
Exaggerate. Next, a word for something very strong and heavy. Intense.
When something is intense, it's very strong and not soft or light. It fills the space completely and demands your full attention. For example, on my no-phone day, the silence in the morning felt intense in a way I had not expected. Or, the film was so emotionally intense that she could not relax during it, even for a moment. Repeat. Intense.
Intense. Next, a word about being open and exposed. Vulnerable.
When you feel vulnerable, you feel open and easy to hurt. Your real feelings are close to the surface, and there's nowhere comfortable to hide them. For example, walking outside without my phone made me feel strangely vulnerable, like I had nothing to hide behind. Or, she felt vulnerable when she finally told her friend how she had really been feeling. Repeat. Vulnerable.
Vulnerable. Next, a word for two things that should match but don't. Contradiction.
A contradiction is when two things do not match or agree with each other. They seem like they should go together, but they actually work against each other. For example, it is a real contradiction that phones are designed to connect us to people, but sometimes make us feel lonelier than before. Or, being in the same room with someone you love while both of you are looking at your own screen is a contradiction of togetherness. Repeat. Contradiction.
Contradiction. Next, a phrase about choosing safety over honesty. Play it safe.
When you play it safe, you choose the easy, comfortable answer or option rather than the deeper or riskier, honest one. You stay on the surface rather than going to the real place. For example, when people ask how I am, I often play it safe and say fine, even when I am not. Or, he played it safe in the conversation and did not share his real opinion because he was not sure how it would be received. Repeat, play it safe.
Play it safe. Next, a phrase about your own habits blocking you. Get in your own way.
When you get in your own way, your own habits or thoughts are the obstacle stopping you. Other people or circumstances are not the problem. You are blocking yourself from what you want. For example, I wanted to focus on my work, but my phone habit kept getting directly in my own way. Or, she realized she had been getting in her own way by doubting herself before she had even tried. Repeat, get in your own way.
Get in your own way. Next, a phrase about sharing your deepest feelings. Pour your heart out.
When you pour your heart out, you share all your real feelings openly and honestly. You do not hide or manage the impression you are making. You just say what is actually true for you. For example, with no phones at the table that evening, he finally poured his heart out about how exhausted he had been feeling from always being online. Or, she poured her heart out in her journal after a particularly difficult day and felt lighter afterwards. Repeat, pour your heart out.
Pour your heart out. Next, a phrase about refusing to let something go. Hold on to.
When you hold on to something, you do not want to let it go, even when part of you can see it might not be serving you anymore. You grip it tightly because it feels necessary, even when it is not. For example, I was holding on to my phone like a safety blanket without realizing how much space it was taking in my life. Or, he still holds on to old messages that make him sad, reading them again and again instead of moving forward. Repeat, hold on to.
Hold on to. And finally, a phrase about suddenly seeing an important truth. Wake up to.
When you wake up to something, you finally become clearly aware of a truth that was always there. Something shifts and you can see it for the first time, even though it existed all along. For example, after one day without my phone, I woke up to just how loud and constant its presence had been in my life. Or, she woke up to the fact that she had been comparing herself to others online every single day without ever questioning whether that was good for her. Repeat, wake up to.
Wake up to. And those are your words from today. Honest, human vocabulary for talking about your phone habits, your feelings, your relationships, and the moments that actually matter.
And the heart of today is this. You do not need to throw your phone into a river. You do not need to make dramatic, permanent rules.
You just need a little awareness, just enough space to notice what is happening, and maybe one small, honest change.
No phone at breakfast, no phone in the bedroom after a certain time. One evening a week where you are actually fully present with the people around you.
Because the best parts of your day are probably right in front of you. You just need a little space to see them clearly.
And don't forget the comment challenge. Would you ever try a no phone day? Just yes or no, or one honest sentence about how you think it would feel. We love reading every single answer.
Take care of your English.
And take care of your real life, the one happening right in front of you. This is Maryam.
And this is Dilawar.
And you've been watching Side by Side English. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.